Welcome, YouTube family. Got a new product for you to talk about today. Ripcord decided to jump off the IMS, or integrated arrow rest thing. Most people might not be aware of it. They actually made these that fit on the Matthews, the Hoyt, and the Bowtech integrate brackets. How do they fit? What do they look like? Come along and you'll find out. Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with podiumarcher.com. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, keep following along. 3 a week is what we're bringing to you. Today we're talking about a Ripcord Code Red X Integrate. First company since QAD to actually make an integrated rest that bolts directly on the back rear. The Hamskea actually bolts on the side and doesn't go on the back, so they actually jumped off the cliff and probably paid QAD way too much money to be able to bolt this directly on the back. But what we're more interested in than anything is seeing how well this fits and if it actually clears these low profile quivers that Matthews came out with that are really tight to the bow. It'll definitely clear it on the Hoyt because it sits behind it, so nothing's going to be in the way. So this is really the only bow that this rest might be a conflict on fitting on. So we're going to bolt it on for you right now. I will give them this. There's not a lot here, so it's pretty light. It's probably not quite as light as a QAD, but pretty darn close. Looks like you just got a side screw here. I do have these on the website, although I don't have a ton of them, so if you watch this video a month after I make it, I may not have any. I may, depending on how popular they are, but these are up on the website right now. Take a look, see here. See what our height would be like. So that's about as low as you'd probably be able to put it. And it's probably a little bit to the left of where it would normally be. But it does look like this arm moves that way, so there shouldn't be a conflict here. My biggest question, now that it's on here, which it's still just a cord-driven rest, it's the same Code Red X that they made last year. It's just got a bracket that holds on there. Let's see how many things clear in the quiver. Okay, so I can already see, yeah, this quiver's not going to work. So if you're looking for something to rock with the low pro, not going to fit. There you go, there's your fit clearance. So that's where the arrow is and that's where the rest is. So for all you low pro quiver users on a Matthews, won't work. Every other bow that fits it, the previous model, V331, V327 and back, any of the PSEs that are IMX or integrate, any of the Hoyts that are integrate, any of the CP28, those should all clear just fine and bolt on. But unfortunately, kiddos, this quiver will not work with that rest. So the Hamskea does, and the QAD IMX integrate is what they call it. Sorry, brain's a little foggy this morning. Forgive me. Are the only ones that actually will fully clear this quiver, and on some applications, the Hamskea does touch one arrow or get really close to it. So if you want low pro and tight, those are the only two. But if this is not the quiver you're running, this is a good feasible option and will function in the same way a Ripcord always has. They have a couple other models that have that as well, and I imagine we're going to run into the same finament issues. They make a drive IMX and a max, and I almost guarantee you they're going to be exactly the same. But I will say they're low profile, they're light, and they're cable driven on these. The drive is a limb driven, but it doesn't have a cage. So you can't use the cage on the IMS. So if you want a fully contained cage limb driven, it's still going to be the Hamskea only. But they do make the drive IMS and the Ripcord Max. They also do make this rest with the IMX. The only difference in all these rests are how it bolts on the bow, whether it bolts on the side or bolts on the rear. But looking at this, it doesn't really move much farther that way on the body or the chassis of it by mounting on the rear instead of mounting on the side. So you're kind of alleviating the purpose on these really low profile quivers. So something to keep in mind. But we do have both, and they are charging, gosh, I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks more for the exact same rest with an IMS, which I can only assume is probably a royalty fee that they have to pay to Q80 for their technology and their patent for that. So that's what you're paying for right there. But there are some other options out there for you, other than just a Q80 IMX. If all you really care about is that it bolts directly on that rail, to my knowledge, those are the only ones that exist. Comment down below if there's another one that I don't know about, but as far as I know, you can only get an IMX or the 3 Ripcords, and there's one more we're going to talk about in another video. Octane, which is a division of Bowtech, did make a whisker biscuit style rest that will bolt on the back of that. So for you guys that love your whisker biscuits, that your diehards, they do actually make a specific rear mounted, only one in existence. Nobody else makes one that I know of. Once again, comment down below if I'm a fool and I should have known somebody else made one, but I've never seen one and I'm not aware of it. So more than anything, guys, we just like to try to let you know how things fit and what works and what doesn't and how it lines up. And so you don't just run out there and order one of these rests or any of the other ones just like them and hope it's going to work with this quiver. It's not going to. So you're only going to be able to get probably 3 arrows in there that doesn't touch the rest. So not an ideal scenario for me or you or anybody else, I'd imagine. So head on over to podiumarcher.com for all those archery needs. Like if you want to buy one of these or something else, who knows? Like I said, swag's coming soon. For those of you that want to represent or, you know, publicly show your pride for this dummy here with a big beard. But keep following along. Make sure to head on over to the Instagram and say hi. I'm trying to post there daily. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but hopefully at least a couple a week. And when in a couple more weeks, I'll try to dedicate some more time to get out to you every day. And the bow builds are going to start soon, guys, I promise. So just finally got material so I can start making my strings of the color that I wanted. So thanks for checking us out.